What's up guys, it's Cayden. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about all the gear you need to bring down to Cedros to target huge calico bass and giant yellowtail. We're going to be talking about everything you need to get bit. Stay tuned, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy. Island. Oh, there he went there. Oh! Alright, so you're going down to Cedros Island. Let's help you pack everything from line, lures, rods, and reels, everything in between to get you bit. Let's get into it. So the first lure I'm going to talk about is the WARBAITS 2-ounce swim jig head. I have this WARBAITS swim jig paired with a 5-inch Pearl 711 swim bait. The weighted swim jig is essential to fish all the different water columns, from the bottom all the way up to the top. You can sink this out and have a slow, steady retrieve to fish the bottom, or you could cast it out and have a fast retrieve to fish it on top. It's essential to cover all bodies of water. This sled head has a weed guard, so it can stop some of that kelp or grass from getting on your hook. This swim jig comes with a skirt, so when you wind fast, the skirt will suck down onto the body and it'll look like a thinner bait fish. And when you're slow winding, the skirt will puff out, making it look like a thicker, rounder bait fish, maybe like a perch or an opalite. And if you decide to fish the bottom with this lure, it'll look like a crab or crustacean on the bottom. And now, WARBAITS has just released the new neckbreaker swim jig. The neckbreaker is a swing head design with more capability and customizability. The original swim jig only comes with one hook and is the shank from the lead head. On the neckbreaker you have a split ring which you can change out the hook so you can fish any type of trailer, any size of trailer, which means you can tailor it to your style of fishery. The neckbreaker is also weighted so it can cover each water column perfectly. The swing head design rolls and it adds action to the bait and adds this cool wobble. It also can help the bait kick and look more natural in the water. Now, for another bait that we fish down in Cedros, the weedless swim bait. This is a kicker fishing PK7 paired up with a 1/2 ounce weedless beast hook. This bait is great to be fishing the kelp and up top, anywhere subsurface. We were casting these in heavy kelp areas where there were lots of kelp laid down, and in between that was open spaces of water, so we'd cast in those open spaces and be able to run our swim baits over the kelp if needed, being weedless and totally snag free. And when those fish bite it, even just the slightest bit, they get all that hook.
Oh! Big one! Big one! Big one!
Look, you can run your finger over it and it's completely weedless. You're not going to get hung up as much as when you fish like a swim jig. The only problem with this bait is you can't fish all the water columns as effectively unless you put a neckbreaker on it. That's why I personally prefer to always fish it with a 1-ounce WARBAITS neckbreaker swim jig so I can fish all the different water columns. I can still fish this bait on top, it'll still be weedless, like so, and when the fish bites, even just the slightest bit, they get all the hook and it just smokes them every time.
During our trip at Cedros, we fished the surface iron for the yellows. We fished the Kicker 25 Light. This one in particular is in a red crab pattern with a black tail via Benny Florentino. He taught me how to paint all my jigs, surface iron jigs, with a black tail. It's a confidence thing for me, so all my jigs have a black tail. There's 2 styles and techniques that we fish the surface iron. On the first day, they weren't really biting on the top, on the surface there. So what we did is we'd cast our surface iron on the downwind side of the boat, sink it out until you get to the upwind side, put in gear, crank 3, 4, 5 times, you're bit. You had limits within an hour. Really good fishing on the 20 to 30 pound yellows.
Let's see if we get bit. Oh, and we do! Oh, I told you! I told you!
So some may ask, when you're sinking out the surface iron, why don't you just fish a heavy iron or a yo-yo iron? Well, the simple answer to that is, When fishing a heavy iron, the lure will sink at a faster rate and also not give the fish as much time to strike on the way down.
I just got bit.
On the sink, dude.
When the heavy iron sinks, it's so heavy that it'll lose the bow and the line. So you cast from the boat over here, bait sails, and it's so heavy that it'll lose that bow. It'll just come all the way down. Instead, with the surface iron, since it's lighter, it'll flutter down. You'll cast, it'll flutter straight down. It does take longer to get down, maybe 30 to 40 seconds. Put your reel in gear, and it'll come in at a more diagonal angle instead of straight up like a yo-yo iron. Now, that looks more realistic to the fish in my opinion. Instead of your iron coming straight up, it comes diagonal across their face like the bait's getting pushed up, and I feel personally that that's more realistic. So that's just a confidence thing for both of us, and that's a great way we targeted yellowtail on our trip.
The rest of the trip, we're all on the surface, breaking fish, you know, even blind strikes, always on top, cast and wind, cast as far as you can on the long rod, put your rod tip down, reel in gear, wind, they hop on it, you're on another fish.
Oh, swirl on it.
It's a very effective way to catch yellowtail. My favorite way as well. Get yourself a Kicker 25 light, get yourself some.
Now let's get into the setups. From anything bass related, from the swim jig to the weedless swim bait, I was fishing a 7-foot 11-inch medium heavy swim bait rod. This is a custom Phoenix 711 medium heavy blank. It's rated 15 to 35 pound, and I had it paired up with the Daiwa Lexa 300. This setup worked great for anything bass related, and it worked really effectively for me. On that Daiwa Lexa, it was spooled with 65 pound J braid and a 2 to 3 foot leader of 40 to 50 pound fluorocarbon. Now for the surface iron setup. I was fishing a CalStar 90J. This is a 9-foot all glass jig stick. I had that paired up with a Daiwa Saltiga 40. That Daiwa Saltiga 40 was spooled halfway with 80 pound Daiwa J braid and a top shot of 40 pound Izerline XXX monofilament, which adds a lot of stretch and forgiveness on the fisherman. Really effective for fishing the surface iron. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, please like and subscribe. And to not miss any future uploads or helpful videos like this one, turn on your post notifications. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.